Talk about Lucille Armstrong, her connection to the house, her relationship with Lewis, what she did for the legacy, her vision. Uh, Anything about Lucille you would like to share?
Lucille was right up there. Uh, you know, not directly influencing the music, but a direct influence on Lewis's personal life that allowed the music to be what it was. Lewis had three other wives, and aside from Lil, like aside from Lil, who was musically very important, like the kind of influence that they had on Lewis, it wasn't. There's no comparison. And I mean, there's a reason why she was the last wife. Very powerful. Uh, I always say we call this the Louis Armstrong House Museum, but it's really Lucille's house. And you can't look a foot in any direction and not see like her thumbprint. You can't do it. It's completely impossible. Also, I mean, this can be taken out of context when I say it, but I feel like she understood Lewis a little bit better than Lewis did from just being on the outside. I mean, Lewis was very don't get me wrong, Lewis was very down to earth. He was very self-aware, but I think Lucille really understood how the world looked at him better. And so when he passed away, she went into hyperdrive of like maintaining his legacy. Now, at the end of his life, Lewis was a little bitter because, he felt he was being just left behind a little bit or forgotten. And I think Lucille really went beyond the call of duty to make sure that didn't happen. So there's a stadium named after Louis Armstrong. Lucille was behind that. There's a park in New Orleans, and there's a airport named after Louis. Like Lucille's behind all of that. And then we have this museum. There's Elmcore right down the street. Lucille was a big part of that. There's schools in the neighborhood. Louis Armstrong Middle School in particular. Lucille, she did this all in 12 years. In 12 years, she wasn't a young woman, and she was taking care of all of this. She didn't have to do that. She could have went on vacation. She could have got remarried. She could have just enjoyed. And so I feel like a big part of like my job or our job or collectively is that we are to keep Lucille's vision going. That's a big part of it, And so from what I know about Lucille, particularly like Selma's interactions and stuff like that, and you can hear it like in her voice, even in the Slivovitz interview, like when she walks in the room, like everybody, you can hear like everybody sits up straight. You can, they're like, oh, here she is, like, and so I feel like when I'm at my job, like she's looking over my shoulder, like I can't be backsliding, like if I'm not holding up Lewis's legacy, if I'm not, if I'm not doing or saying what I think is right, like she's looking over my shoulder, and just for that, I love her. She's incredible, just an incredible person.